Hey everyone, I'm Michaela. I am here today to review Queen of Zombie Hearts by Gena Showalter, which is the third book in the White Rabbit Chronicles. I have done video reviews for Alice in Zombieland and Through the Zombie Glass, which are the first and second books, and I will leave them in the description bar below if you want to check them out. There's hardly anything that I can tell you about this one, even if you have read the first two in the series, just because it's so fast-paced from the get-go. But from the blurb on the back, we know that Anima are planning a surprise attack on the Slayers, and that it's about to go down. It's pretty hectic. This book has definitely traumatized me. I'm still not over the events that unfolded. I would definitely suggest picking this up if you enjoyed the first two. This is the end part, and then we're getting another book. I'm pretty sure it's going to be from Frosty's point of view with some things that happen in this book. Without saying too much, it's sort of, I'm not too sure if it's going to continue on, but I'm really hoping that it is because I love this series. I am so sorry that I can't tell you more about this, but if you haven't read it, just read it, trust me, and then we're going to get into the spoilery part now, so come back and you can hear my thoughts on some of the things that happens. So if you haven't read the book, I love you, goodbye, I'll see you soon, and for everyone who has read it, let's talk. First of all, I just want to say that this has been my most requested video of anything ever, so I'm really sorry for the people who have been waiting literally since I've read this book in September last. It's August in 2015, and I know that the next book is coming out in October. So I'm sorry, I'm really sad. But now that I've even had more time to sit on it and think, it's just, the wounds are still there. So first of all, I really felt like I was lulled into this false sense of security because I thought for sure that at the end of Through the Zombie Glass, that like when Ali and Cole were hooking up, that's when Anima was gonna bust in. But then when I started reading this and they were at like that ice cream parlor and they're all just like, oh yeah, you know, like nothing's happened. I was like, what? Oh my God, I was just waiting for the attack to happen. I'm like, is there gonna be like a shootout in like the middle of the ice cream store? When it happened, and oh my God. When the whole group was split and Ali and Cole were first attacked and they realized that it was sort of everyone was getting it, that was like, it really drove home that these people are supposed to be teenagers and they're being hunted down by these adults in the most brutal fashion. When we find out that Lucas and Trina had died, finally we're getting together at the end of Through the Zombie Glass, to see these characters like running towards a car and being shot down. Like Trina died like 2 parts. When we saw the group of hot guys at the ice cream bar slash chocolate bar, like Choco Loco or whatever it was called, I thought that was so funny. That was the other thing that I loved, like the name of the places where they were when Frosty was hiding out at Rock and Roll. Was that what it was called? I'm pretty sure it was something really funny like that. I loved that. But back to Choco Loco. When she was like, oh yeah, there was these guys with these busted up knuckles, I'm like, Slayers. Straight up, I just knew that they were Slayers. But that introduction was pretty random too. The way they said it, the Rivers crew was set up just an hour away. It's like, if I had some sort of operation like that, I would definitely be everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like you would have known. We would have been told some vague thing like, oh yeah, there's these guys who kind of do things differently. We would have heard about them. My other problem with this book is that my girl Mackenzie, she spends this book unconscious. Like, you know, she was really nice. She drove Ali to Cole's place and that was all cool. They had their little girl talk. It was all fun. But then the next time we see her, she's been stabbed and she like keeps getting hit over the head in every single battle. Gena, does she have brain damage? Like, is she gonna be okay? I really need to know that. Gavin and Jacqueline, like I never knew I needed that. But now I ship it. Like, I'm the captain of that ship. Like, how did I not ever think that this was gonna happen? Because it was absolutely perfect. They need a ship name. Jacqueline. Jacqueline is the name. No, I hate that. Javin. Javelin? Javelin! Javelin's good. Javelin. Gavelin. No, Javelin. I like Javelin. Veronica and Juliana, hate you too. Hated those characters. Oh my God, seriously. Like, I hated Veronica ever since she dropped her first sugar in Through the Zombie Glass. I just couldn't handle that chick. I was like, nah, no way. And then when we find out that Ali wasn't really, I do have to say that the other death that wasn't any of the Slayers when Kat died, I was actually expecting her to die in the first book. I know that sounds really bad just because as soon as she mentioned the thing with her kidneys and how her mum had died and the prospect wasn't looking very good, I was like, she's gonna die. My best friend is the biggest fan of Kat and she's like, no, it's not gonna happen. Then when it happened, I was like, at the end of Through the Zombie Glass, when Ali was like, oh yeah, we should use our Slayer fire on her to try to kill her, I was like, that is the worst idea you have ever had and like, you are a dumbass. Sometimes Ali, don't do it. please don't do it. I'm really glad that she didn't try to do it. When Kat did come back as the Z though, that traumatized me. That was a fucking low blow and that should not have happened. But does that mean that if they bite Slayers, they can all become witnesses now? I didn't really get that. But I know that Kat's going to be back in the next book to help Frosty move on from her death, because his ending was the most tragic thing I have ever heard. And I feel like if Gena Showalter didn't get another book deal, like, people would have been really pissed. And we found out Frosty's real name as well. I found it out. His name is Ashton Martin. I don't know how I feel about Camilla being with Frosty at the end of the book, because that was sort of what the synopsis for the next book is. We're heading towards that. And I was just like, she was a traitor. When the nightclub Hearts was blown up, that affected me way more than it probably should have. Maybe because I spent a good deal of my life in nightclubs. Of course, Mackenzie got hit in the head with something and was unconscious for the whole thing, but I think that she's heading towards the thing with Chase. I want a book from Mackenzie's point of view. I need Mackenzie's point of view. I just want everything Mackenzie loved. Like, I just want to know everything about it. Like, what's her favourite colour? What's, you know, like her favourite band? All of that stuff. I'm a bit of a Mackenzie fangirl, can you tell? When Ali was captured by Anima and then she got amnesia and she was like Sammy all of a sudden, when it happened like way towards the end of the book, I'm like, this has to be resolved pretty quickly, because at the time there wasn't a plan for another book. So I was like, okay, well, this is going to be wrapped up pretty quickly. And then it was wrapped up within literally 5 pages. The one thing that I really, really wanted just at the end of the book was where, like, I wanted a conversation between Mackenzie and Ali, because they'd both lost their best friends. Like, Kat had died, Trina had died, and I don't really think that, like, we didn't see enough of Mackenzie to see her mourning. Like, we saw Mackenzie being unconscious, and we also saw Mackenzie at the start, maybe the start of a relationship with Chase. So I just really felt like that kind of needed to be that conversation. So maybe in the next book, there's going to be a thing where Ali and Mackenzie are hanging out more. So if you've read this book, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it, if you loved it, if you thought that it was an appropriate end to Ali and Cole's story, and if you're excited for Frosty. I'm excited for Frosty. I'm just not too sure how it's going to go from the male POV. Like, I feel the White Rabbit Chronicles has come to rely a lot on its kind of like sarcasm and, you know, really witty sort of things. So I'm wondering how such a damaged character such as Frosty is going to be able to carry that on, or if we're going to go in a bit of a darker direction, how things are going to go with him and Camilla. If Anima has risen back up, because at the end of this book, they were going to jail because, you know, they found all of those like dead bodies in their facility. So I'm really excited to see how this one pans out and if there's going to be more books than just Frosties. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sorry this has taken so long to get out there. I hope that this all came together really nicely and that you understood what I was going on about. And if you share some of the same thoughts with me, let me know in the comments down below as usual. All right, lots of love. Mwah! Bye.